Each October, just in time for the busy holiday shopping season, National Cybersecurity Awareness Month provides a timely reminder to understand current cyber threats and the simple steps we can take to be safer online. Joining us today is Nathaniel Gleicher. He is Head of Security Policy at Meta and former Director of Cybersecurity for the White House National Security Council. Welcome, Nathaniel.
Thanks so much for having me.
Now, as hackers and fraudsters refine their techniques, why is cybersecurity awareness so important?
Well, I think people worry increasingly about being safe online. The more our lives are online, the more we think about it. And it's easy to be daunted by all the cyber criminals out there and the threats that might be out there. But I think there's some good news, which is there are a few simple tips people can follow to really keep themselves safe online and make life much harder for cyber criminals. My team works with other teams across industry and society to build safe and secure places for people to connect and build community, and for businesses to reach their customers. And to your point, an important part of that effort is cybersecurity awareness.
Now, we're talking about all internet-connected devices. Can you break down some proactive steps we can implement to improve online safety?
The first and the simplest thing that I would recommend is that people should turn on two-factor authentication for all of their accounts. It's one of the most effective mechanisms for protecting your accounts and your identity online. On Facebook and Instagram, you can turn it on by going into your security and login settings and then selecting Use Two-Factor Authentication to get started. In addition to social media, I'd also recommend that people turn on two-factor authentication for banking accounts, which I think people often think of, but also for personal email. We don't always think about our personal email as being part of our safety and security strategy online, but it turns out that cyber criminals often begin by trying to compromise personal email. So it's good to put extra protection around it, like two-factor authentication.
Now, with more data breaches and cyber threats evolving, can you share other ways to improve cybersecurity?
Another thing is, I think it's important for people to keep a careful eye on unsolicited messages that might show up in your email inbox or your text messages. These could be, particularly at this time of year, offers for deals or products you might want to buy. They might look too good to be true. They probably are too good to be true, because we know that cyber criminals will work to disguise themselves as legitimate sources in order to try to trick people into clicking on links and giving up their personal information. One trick we see them use is they will send an email or they'll send a message where the email address or maybe the website link they provide looks like a well-known and trusted brand, but in fact, it's about one letter off, just enough to try to trick you.
Now let's talk passwords and account security. Is there a secret to being uber safe?
Well, I think this is a really good place to focus because passwords is something that everyone struggles with, right? You have dozens, maybe even more accounts. If you're a small business, there are dozens of accounts that probably you rely on to keep your business running. And you're supposed to have a strong password for every single one of those. A lot of people have trouble remembering. They fall into the trap of using the same password over and over again. This isn't very good for security because it means if a cyber criminal gets access to one of your accounts, they get access to all of them. So what I would recommend is what I do, which is use a password manager. Most web browsers now have password managers built into them, or you can download your own if you prefer. What this means is you use a strong password for that password manager, and then it remembers the rest of your passwords for you, and it'll generate new strong passwords for you when you create new accounts.
Online shopping is so convenient. Packages can be delivered to your door with just a click. I know I'm guilty. Can you share some tips for safe online shopping this holiday season?
Well, I'd say in addition to the tips we've talked about, I think it's always important to research before you buy. Review the seller's profile along with product reviews and ratings to make sure you know what you're getting. And use secure transaction and payment methods. Don't provide gift card details to someone you don't know, and avoid transactions that require you to only pay with a gift card. If you're shopping on Facebook or Instagram, you can also turn on alerts, login alerts, so you'll be notified if someone tries to access your account. You can turn this on by going to facebook.com/help and following the instructions there. And businesses can enable business notifications so that you're alerted of any changes to your Meta Business Manager account. You can do this in business settings and then click on notifications.
For more information, visit facebook.com/securitycheckup. Nathaniel, we thank you so much for these timely tips to help keep us cyber safe this season.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
And we thank you for joining us on San Diego Living. We'll see you next time.